This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FI Investment Group and your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business and politics and explore the topics of current interest that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Alex Kronemer, a documentary film producer, author, and expert on interfaith dialogue. Alex will be discussing how filmmakers can build bridges of understanding and cooperation across faith and culture line. Thank you very much, Alex, for coming. I appreciate that very much.
Pleasure to be here.
Before I begin my interview, I found Alex to be very charming, to be very engaging. He's a source of strength and courage to all of us.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And I know you're committed to your cause. And I pray and hope that your cause will endure and your dreams shall never die.
Thank you very much.
You began your career in government, if I remember correct, in the State Department.
That's right.
And then you move into the world of filmmaking. Why change in career? What happened here?
Well, I've been in one way or the other for most of my working career working towards the cause of peace and understanding, particularly having to do with religious divisions that exist and trying to bridge those gaps. And when I was at the State Department, I was working primarily on international religious freedoms issues and religious conflicts and working on the policy side. But I came to, as time went on, really realize that as important as policy was, people and the public were actually more important. And so I wanted to move into a direction where I could actually begin to work directly in the public square to address some of these issues.
So that's the reason you changed your career.
Yes, indeed.
And you're enjoying it.
I am enjoying it. Yeah, it's in many ways very similar to government.
So you got a passion here.
Yes, I do, very much.
You're not just making any films, but films that aim to build bridges between different cultures, different faith. And that's a wonderful thing to do, especially when the Obama administration is reaching out to the Muslim world as well. How did you get into this?
Yeah, well, we've all heard the Clash of Civilizations idea being thrown out there quite a bit. And it really had to do with that. It was a realization that we really were, I felt, on some kind of collision path in the world. Our world is more connected now than ever before. And yet, it seems that the forces to be divisive are greater almost than ever before as well. And so, when I wanted to make this move, and as I said, I've always been directed towards sort of trying to work for peace and interfaith understanding particularly, it seemed that one of the most powerful ways of doing that is through the medium of film. Is a sort of immediacy and an emotional connection people have when they see and hear the stories of other people, the stories of cultures, the stories of a religion, in this case Islam, that they may know very little about. And so the idea was to try to, through the medium of documentary filmmaking, to tell those stories that might otherwise not get told to a public that really needs to understand them better.
I want to thank you for inviting me not too long ago, Georgetown University, where Secretary Albright was a keynote speaker, and you were there as well. And it was a world premiere of Islam. What does a billion Muslim think of it? Has it been pretty successful?
Yeah. So you're referring to our latest film called Inside Islam: What a Billion Muslims Really Think.
Correct.
And it's based on the Gallup World Poll that was done on Muslim public opinion. It was really, when I learned about the poll a few years ago, it really seemed like this is like a perfect topic for a documentary, because for the first time the poll was asking Muslims worldwide what they thought about things like democracy, violence, women, freedom of speech, so on and so forth. And the results in many cases are pretty counterintuitive, not what you would expect. So something like that is the perfect topic for a documentary, where you're trying to, again, tell a story that is unfamiliar or unexpected. And so we made the documentary about the poll, about some of the findings of the poll. We had a number of scholars who appear on camera talking about that. And as you said, we had the world premiere on June 3rd. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright keynoted that event. And the film is now being screened really across the country. It's going to have a broadcast beginning on PBS stations in January 2010.
Great. How's your work relevant to the Asians?
Well, that's a really interesting point. one of the things that I do in addition to the filmmaking is I do a lot of lecturing. And I always make the point to the groups that I talk to, and these are largely lectures about what is Islam, who are Muslims, is that only 2 out of every 5 Muslims in the world are Arab.
Asia has the largest Muslim population in the world.
Exactly. The largest Muslim country, of course, is an Asian country, and the country that outside that has the most Muslims is also India.
That is correct. Second largest population in the world.
That is right.
A shining example of democracy and diversity and secularism.
So the face of Islam, even though worldwide, the face of Islam seems to be an Arab face. The face of Islam really demographically is an Asian face, and it's something that you see very clearly. I've for example gone to Mecca on the Hajj. When you're there, you're not in Arabia. You are in Indonesia. You're in India. You're in Pakistan. Those are the people there, and so it's almost impossible.
Different culture.
Exactly.
Different peoples, black and white. They're all bonded together.
That's right. It's right. So in doing any work that really is dealing with Islam and Muslims, it's impossible to do that without it being also
It makes a lot
Asian.
of sense.
Yeah.
Has any of your films featured Asian and Asian Americans?
Yes. In fact, of the 7 films we've made, 5 of them either feature or include some major Asian or Asian American as a part of the film. It kind of almost fits with the demographics, as
Yes,
I say.
makes sense.
Yeah, the 3/5 or whatever it is of the Muslim population is actually Asian.
Do you ever receive any pushback from your work?
Well, you can't. If you're sitting around a dinner table with some friends, and
yes.
you express some opinions, you get pushback. So
Yeah.
in this case, we have a dinner table that has approximately 150 million people sitting around it, because that's about the number of people who have seen our films worldwide.
150 million
Yes,
people?
that's right. So with 150 million people, you're bound to get some pushback from all sides of people who have a different opinion about what you're saying, or would have preferred that you did one thing or another. But I think that just goes with the territory of doing any kind of public work.
So how do you use your films to reach such a diverse audience all over the world?
Yeah. Well, in addition to the broadcasts we get, not only here in the United States, but also around the world, we've had broadcasts. Our films have shown literally in almost every country, including China.
China has some Muslim population as well. There's uprising going on right now in China.
Exactly. And approximately 70 million Chinese are Muslim.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So making China also a country that has more Muslims than any single Arab country. So, but our programs have even aired in China. They've aired throughout Europe, South America, all the English-speaking countries of the world. But in addition to the broadcasts, we have a program that we run called 20,000 Dialogues. And 20,000 Dialogues is in essence, it's a kind of almost like a book club. It functions that way, except for you watch a video, one of our programs, and then there's an opportunity to discuss some of the themes that are raised from it. And our films deal with all kinds of different topics. Some of them are historical, some are contemporary, some have to do with religious intolerance, some of them have to do with creation and cooperation and so forth. So all of these films have different kind of themes. People come together through this 20,000 Dialogues project in sometimes large screenings of 100 or 200 100 people, but sometimes in a living room of 5 or 6 people. Watch a film, have a dialogue, make peace happen. That's
very important.
Yes.